Hello everybody, welcome to a new SEGA News Bits, and we just did one a couple of days ago, so this is, I guess, another one, a free one. So with me...
Breaking news.
Barry's here with me, and we're going to be talking about...
Hello.
The new, Sonic Mania gameplay. They released new gameplay for Green Hill Zone Act 2, or at least a new build. So what do you think about this gameplay that they just showed off?
Well, from what I remember, when we were at the San Diego event, I played the Act 1, and from what we saw in the video, which featured Acts 1 and 2 with Aaron Weber commentary, it looks relatively unchanged. However, there are elemental shields that allow you to burn down bridges. So that's, I guess when I say relatively unchanged, that's not true. That's a pretty big change when you consider that you can access new areas. What else will change? I can't really remember off the top of my head.
They showed off Act 2.
Oh, of course. Well, yeah, definitely Act 2 is new, and I mean, I think it looks great. Now, I know there were people complaining, and we'll get into this, that, it's just reusing the same stages we've played before, but the maps, at least the map for Act 1 is much expanded. It's a very different map, and Act 2 looks incredibly new, like entirely new.
Yeah, it is, and it has the whole, they added stuff that was cut out from the old games. I actually really love that the team is doing this, and it looks great. We could talk about the 1.5 player mode, which is not really new in the Sonic franchise, because they sort of had this in 2. It's basically the same thing, but it kind of feels like, for what they've been talking about, it's been expanded. There's a Game Informer article about it, and they said that it helped you get into secrets, and it was easier to deal with flying monsters when you had Tails helping you out. So that's good. Destructoid had a negative article saying that it was kind of a pain in the ass to play, but Destructoid seems to be kind of like not understanding the whole point of it. So the whole complaint was that Sonic would go away and then you would be left to die or something. It's like that's kind of comes with the territory from the old games, right?
Yeah, I mean 1.5 player is just a fun added bonus. It's not a full 2-player mode, obviously, because it's called 1.5. From what I recall, though, it sounds like you can, as Tails, you can drop Sonic, which is new.
Yeah, on top of spikes if you want.
Yeah, if you want to be a jerk, but. That's a cool feature, and like Aaron said, like if you have a little brother, a little sister, a little kid in the house, this is great for them to play Sonic without actually really getting in your way that much.
And it's pretty interesting because I kind of like this mode because you always have that little kid that comes over, your cousin or something. You just want to play Sonic, but this guy's like they want to play too. You don't want to give them a controller and feel you want to actually see them play. So this is a good way to not get in your way, really, because, they probably don't know that well.
Yeah, it's a good way to indoctrinate little kids into Sonic.
Because, when you used to play the Mario games, the way that they used to work is one person would go on until they died, and Mario games are kind of easy sometimes, so you would go on for hours. So this is a good equilibrium,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And so there was a quote that Destructoid did on their article about the remix levels and the percentages. I'll read it. The Sega rep told us that the game is about 60% remixing levels from past Sonic games and about 40% using ideas that are new or that were never implemented back then. So I guess they showed that off kind of in Act 2, where they used old stuff that was never implemented. It was back in beta stages. What are your thoughts about this, using only 40%?
I have no problem with that. I mean, Green Hill 1 and 2, as we've seen, the music's the same, but I think it's a remix by T. Lopes, so it sounds a lot better. And like I said, Act 1 is similar up to a point, and then all of a sudden it splits off, and someone online actually drew a map, or they looked through all the screen caps and made a version of the map, and it's much bigger. So, I don't see any reason to complain. It's almost, one of the things people aren't thinking about is, one of the things that we were really asking for is Sonic 3 and Knuckles remastered. We might not be getting that, however, we probably will be seeing a lot of those stages remixed in this game. And like I've said before, I wouldn't put it past them to sneak in the entire Sonic 3 and Knuckles,
in it.
but just with the new music so that they don't get into music copyright issues.
I agree with you, and one thing I've noticed in the commentary track, I don't know if you've seen it, was that they really praised the idea that they have indie developers making this game. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's something that I think they've been pushing for a long time on the sidelines. Aaron Weber is, it's no secret that he's a friend to the fan community and that he's worked closely with people from Sonic Retro. I mean, you look back at the Sonic 4 days and it's clear that, I mean, it's not clear, but I feel like Aaron was didn't really like what he was promoting. I don't think he was fully on board with the game, and he knew that there were issues, and so he tried to do as much as he could to solve those by, bringing fans in, having a little conference, a boardroom meeting, which I think actually was a big failure because a lot of the fans were very rude. I remember reading that write-up and just getting really pissed off. But I think they found the right people to work with. People that are, by and large, pretty level-headed. They understand what goes on in game development, and they know how to make a good game. So I have no issues with that. It is funny, though, because, you look at Nintendo, 2D Mario games have been stale for years. I think if they turned to a fan to make a new game, it would be awesome.
And I don't want people to be saying that we're hating on Mario. I think there's a lot of good Mario games. I just feel like I agree with you. The new Super Mario 2D games were a little weird.
Yeah.
I think Mario Maker was a cool idea. I feel like they should have expanded on that, but I don't want to say that I hate Mario games or anything.
Right,
like that.
and I mean, I guess I'm coming from the notion that when you bring in, I mean, look, Sonic, Mario, even a lot of our favorite film franchises, they are coming up on 20, 30 years old. And so people who grew up watching those movies, playing those games, they are now of the age where they can create. And I mean, just look at, I always compare stuff to Star Wars, but look at Rogue One. That's all fan-made, and it was one of the best Star Wars movies in years. Look at Sonic Mania. It's all fan-made, and it's looking to be one of the best 2D Sonic games in years. So...
And well, let's go. I want to get into this, and then we'll close it up with talking about the whole fan community. New bosses, or at least one new boss they showed off, and they're going to be called, I guess, hard-boiled heavies.
Yeah.
And the first one's called, I guess the first one they showed off was a heavy gunner.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's how they are categorizing them.
Yeah. So, what is your opinion on this? I guess art they showed off?
Well, the art looks awesome. It looks very much like the classic Japanese Sonic art that we saw, where it looked airbrushed. They were teasing it the day before, and everyone was saying, "Oh, it's Metal Sonic. Oh, it's a meme." And I'm actually surprised that it wasn't a meme and it wasn't Metal Sonic. It's legitimate Sonic Mania artwork and a reveal, and it looks a lot like the Egg Robos from Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here, and you know what? The one thing I noticed is they didn't talk about who did the art, but the art's fantastic, and whoever did it, yay, good job, because I love the look, and you're right, it looks like the Japanese concept art or character art that they used to release.
Yeah.
But I really love it. They did the coloring correctly. It's very different on how they're promoting this game with these kind of little aspects that remind you of the old games, compared to how they did Sonic 4,
Right.
So yeah, I really love the gun. It's square. It doesn't make any sense, but it's I love it because that's how the old Japanese art looks like.
Yeah, it does look great, and I think these guys appear in Studiopolis Zone, and I remember that demo didn't have a boss, so this is the boss from that, and I think from what Game Informer wrote, who I believe broke this whole story on the new bosses, it kind of plays like the Metal Sonic thing, where it's a race. And there's a bunch of them chasing after you, or at least there's one in a car, and then all the other ones are Egg Robos.
That's pretty fantastic. And
yeah, so he's almost like the leader of the Egg Robos, which I really like. That's cool.
And I wanted to close it off by one question. If this game does well, and looks like it's going to do really well, you think Sega's going to expand and try to get people that do fan games to come in and do indie games for them? For their franchises?
I think if this does well, we could definitely see something like Streets of Rage 4 or, any of those classic Genesis games. But I definitely think that if this does well, it's going to create what I think they've been wanting to create for years, as evidenced by Sonic 4, a 2D Sonic franchise. Just like how Mario has the 2D games and the 3D games, I think really they would love to have the Sonic Mania team doing the 2D stuff, and then that allows Sonic Team to focus on making the 3D games and being a little more outside the box with some of their thinking.
And that's a good thing, I think. Because, I mean, you should have the modern and you should have the Mania, even if it means killing off the Boom arm of the games. But I want to know what you guys think about the new boiled heavy bosses. What do you guys think about the 1.5 multiplayer? What do you think about most of the 60% of the levels being remixed? Let us know in the comments below.
And do you like hard-boiled eggs?